This video presents declassified and licensed material of the Global Institute of Logic and Cybernetics.
Our global ledgers, AI networks, and communication grids are built on the assumption that data remains intact as it moves. But underneath this sprawling digital architecture, we are fighting a losing battle against mathematical instability. In physics, systems naturally move toward disorder, a process known as entropy. In a digital network, this manifests as identity drift, where the core state of a system slowly degrades as it scales. Every time data is transferred or a state is updated, it undergoes a transformation. Each of these microscopic transitions creates a window where the original identity of that data can be warped or corrupted by the environment. If natural decay doesn't compromise the system, deliberate intervention will. Adversaries use adversarial injection to exploit these geometric windows, slipping hostile code into the system at the exact moment a state is changing. As a network grows, these failure points multiply. Without a mathematical constraint, divergence and systemic collapse become a statistical certainty at a global scale. We are currently layering our most critical infrastructure on top of a foundation that cannot mathematically maintain its own integrity over time. Classical gauge theory describes how states are transformed, but it doesn't distinguish between a valid change and one that corrupts the system's identity. It allows the shape of the data to change without ensuring the core remains the same. Standard math allows data to stretch and lose definition. PGP enforces identity preservation using a covariant derivative equation, d mu phi equals 0, as a mathematical lock. Variation must equal exactly 0. The system completes complex parallel transport, arriving identical, with no data loss. By locking the state at the gauge level, PGP removes the geometric space where entropy and adversarial drift normally take hold. The equation ensures that a system's core state remains exactly what it was intended to be, regardless of how many nodes or transformations it passes through. This math is operationalized through the GILC codec station and the PGP-PI Execution Kernel. This is where the theory is translated into a functioning binary for digital systems. The kernel acts as a zero-trust invariant firewall. It doesn't look for known viruses or signatures. It only looks at whether the math of the state remains consistent. The firewall calculates the identity residual, the gap between the original state and the current one. If that residual is 0, the data is allowed to pass. If there is any deviation, whether from random background noise or adversarial code, the state is rejected. The jagged, anomalous packets we see here hit the barrier and are instantly shattered by the kernel. This also secures digital twins through the PGP-SIM protocol. By rejecting any state that doesn't match the physical system's invariant, it keeps the model and reality perfectly synchronized. This shifts security from reactive threat guessing to a deterministic system that simply refuses to allow an inconsistent state to exist. By adopting the PGP spec version 1.0 standard, networks scale without the usual degradation. These drones move in unison, anchored to the same invariant state. This allows autonomous swarms to maintain a consensus without constant external polling. Each agent validates its own state against the PGP kernel, ensuring the swarm remains mathematically coherent. In economic systems, this means global ledgers and secure databases operate with zero value leakage. Every state transition is cryptographically bound to an invariant root, making the records unalterable. Because the PGP spec standardizes how these invariants are expressed across different domains, disparate systems can trust one another's state transfers. This connects once fractured networks into a single shared environment, where data integrity is guaranteed by the protocol itself. This vault represents the highest application of the principle, the constitutional kernel. It embeds PGP into the governing rules of an institution, ensuring that every administrative action preserves its original invariant intent. Infrastructure running on this kernel cannot be structurally compromised. If an action or a piece of data violates the core invariant of the system, the kernel physically blocks it from executing. We are moving from a world where we manage systemic chaos to one where we enforce mathematical order at the deepest level. The Pasev Gauge Principle provides a final
This
layer
video
of
presents
enforcement for system
declassified and
security,
licensed material of the
ensuring that
Global
the
Institute
identity
of
of our
Logic and
civilizational
Cybernetics.
architecture remains fixed and unyielding.